happy that you all have adjusted yourself in this small space. When there is love and understanding, little space can occupy many hearts. But when there is no large heart, then whatever one may get, it is never sufficient. Today we are going to worship Shiva Tattva within us, principle of Shiva. For all Sahajogis, it's very important because Shiva is the ultimate we have to achieve. Shiva is represented in our spirit. So, to become Shiva is the ultimate aim of everything else. The rest of it is all created. Like Vishnu Tattva and Brahmadeva, just to create human beings, to evolve them and then ultimately lead them to Shiva. That's the ultimate. But human beings get so involved into the Brahmadeva's tattvas that even to get into Vishnu Tattva is difficult. They get involved into the 5 elements which have created us. That is the outermost being within us. All the chakras have the outermost, you can say, just the vessel. But the desire to be the spirit is of primal importance in Sahaja. So we have to see inward towards ourselves as Sahajogis. Do we have that desire entirely, or we have still many desires hanging around? See, the greatest problem is of the navi chakra, whether it is in the east or the west. Some people still have hankering for the baser search of food, which is very surprising, even in Sahaja of navi chakra. Then still some people have sense of possessions and money quite a lot. And subtler they grow, still the detachment doesn't develop within them. It becomes subtler. As you grow subtler, the attachment becomes subtler and difficult to get up. Especially people who come up as leaders in Sahaja Yoga or closer to Sahaja Yoga are always under attack. They are attacked maybe by their husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, sons, children, something like that. And that makes it worse. Because all such leaders who are attacked try to displease all the deities by small things here and there. The whole behavior has to be understood that you have become a subtler person and you are rising higher. So naturally the negative forces are going to attack you. Always the front line is under attack, not the back line. So those who are in the front are always under attack. And they have to be very careful as to how they are behaving. Or if there is a sly person, he will become sly but subtler slyness. He will not just become the other way now. His slyness will become subtler. If he is a miserly fellow, then he will become miserly in a subtler. Or say if he is an ego-oriented fellow, then he becomes ego-oriented in a subtler way. But to get rid of these things within you, you have to go to the other side of it. Say if you are miserly, become absolutely generous. Give up everything that you have. Don't be calculating. Don't talk of money. Don't worry about money. If you are extravagant, indulgent too much, you should go the other way down. Unless and until you become juxtaposition, you cannot get rid of these things. Like if you are a hot-tempered man, very hot-tempered, then become so mild that even if somebody beats you, it's alright. Whatever one says, it's alright. That's how you get rid of your habits, which become subtler and subtler. There's another way of dealing with it. Being alert. When you are alert, you start seeing yourself as a separate person with the habits that it has. And then you start understanding why you are behaving. Oh, I understand. I knew you before, 10 years back, before marriage. I know, mister, you are like this. And then take a juxtaposition against that personality and just shoot it off. Like a person who is a negative, left-sided person. Whatever you may do for that person, he'll become subtler and subtler. Suddenly, if it's a girl, she'll start just crying for nothing at all and feeling miserable. It's a boy, if he thinks about, analyzes, he'll become an analyzer of surgery in a subtler way. Then what they should do is to stand before the photograph and see the reflection. That's the other one who died. And just try to make fun of that or shout at it. Depends on. If it is an aggressive stuff, it's better to make fun because stupid. And if it is a one that takes aggression, then shout at it. What do you mean by taking aggression? All these things, you see, are keeping you away from reality. Your being has to be cleansed. With your help only I can do it. Many people say, Mother, you are all powerful. All right, I am. And I can do everything. But only thing I cannot surpass your freedom. That's a fact. I cannot cross over your freedom. And when I cannot cross your freedom, you have to cross that. If in your own freedom you come inside, then I'll bestow upon you all the blessings. But if you want to stand outside, I'm not the one to put you in with a pistol. No, that's not the way it will work out. This is one hurdle that Sir Yogis must know, that at every moment you are free and freer and freest. The more free you become, the worse is your situation as far as the facing of the negativity is concerned. Say if there are 4 persons around, they will be first attacked. Naturally, you can understand. The front line is always under attack, not the back side. Though, according to the law, it should be the back side because all these horrible negative forces should come from the back. But they are very clever. They know that the back are sometimes drop out by themselves, so no need to go that side. They try the front line. And those who think they are in charge and responsible have to be very careful as to how they behave, how they are responsible, how they work it out. If they are keeping their old habits at a subtler level or they are just fighting it. It's very important. And this is how intelligently you can manage yourself. Then once you become detached from all these things, only at mental level, the spiritual level I look at. But at mental level, you must come to logical conclusion that I have to fight this nonsensical stuff. I have to be alert about this nonsense that exists within me. Shiva Tattva is innocent, absolutely innocent. It's very powerful and extremely innocent. And the secret to achieve it is only just please, just please. If you please Shiva, then he may be a Rakshasa or anything. He grants all kinds of boons. But to a Rakshasa, he can only grant the boon of longevity, of long life. But to a saint, he will grant the Satchidananda state. So, even if he grants anything to a Rakshasa, one should not ask questions about it. He can give him longevity. What does it matter? Even if you live for thousands of years and earn nothing out of it, you never get your realization. So to a saint, he gives that eternal longevity which comes through spirit. This is the blessing of Shiva Tattva. While Vishnu Tattva, he gives ascent to a saint and light of wisdom to see and understand everything in collective consciousness. And to a Rakshasa, he gives death. He kills. So for people who are not so deep, it seems that why should Shiva give any blessings of longevity to a Rakshasa? These are the characters of these different deities. Now, for example, if a Rakshasa wants to live now, he goes to Shiva, pleases him by praising him, singing songs to him, by asking his blessings, by doing tapas for him, talking about Shiva's innocence. He gets longevity. Sometimes these Rakshasas are better on the earth than in the subconscious. They can be horrid. They can gather some more booths to torture human beings. So it's better to keep them in the eyes of Vishnu. He manages them better here than to send them into the subconscious. But Shiva's style is very different from that of Vishnu's style. You have to have all kinds of styles because there are so many permutations and combinations in human beings. If you have one style, what will you do with the other style of human beings? So the style of Vishnu is that if you are trying to be funny, he plays tricks and puts you right. Say, a Sahajogi is not interested, Vishnu, so much in other people, but in Sahajogis. If Sahajogi tries to be funny, say he wants to drink wine, alright, he says drink wine. He drinks the wine and then he gets hit somewhere, his car falls off, or he's insulted somewhere, something happens to him, he's punished so badly that he says, oh God, what have I done? That's Vishnu. But Shiva is other way now. If you see, Shiva's style is this, that if you drink, he just disappears from your heart. You have a heart attack and you die. He also kills. One kills directly In a positive way, he definitely kills. The another one by recession. If Shiva disappears, how can you exist? That's one. Second way is that those who are born with Shiva Tattva, like our Sainath was, Shri Sainath, people like that. Even the Devi sometimes can do that. They drink away all the wines of the world, all the poisons of the world, like Shiva did. So, when Sainath found that so many people were smoking this tobacco, he smoked all the tobacco of the world, tried to smoke everything in Maharashtra so that nobody should get it. That's the style of Shiva, to take all the poison into himself and to absorb all the poison within himself. He can deal with the most difficult things. So the one dealing comes through the brain, because Virata is in our brain, acts through the brain. So he plays tricks on you. And that appeals to us because we can see that he's killed someone. So we think, very nice mother, you have punished that. But Shiva Tattva gives you the problems which normally you cannot see, but works out in a short time like that. Like heart troubles, or a person who has very poor Shiva Tattva can have all the incurable diseases of the world. There nobody is killed, but every minute the person is suffering. That is the way Shiva corrects. In us, when Shiva Tattva is awakened, our priorities change absolutely. I see now that those who have come, say, to India from the West, have changed quite a lot in their priorities. But still, there is not so much change as it should be. They are, of course, 1,000 times better than their fellow beings who are not realized so. But still, attachment to things, attachment to money is quite a lot. This detachment must work. Seeing things are not correct in people, and the alertness is not there. To give a very, very gross example of this is, I'll tell you, that a gentleman, say, came and he was told that you have to give, say, 11 rupees for puja. He said, on principle, we are not supposed to give. So, you are only paying, even on principle, you are only paying for your food and lodging, not for puja. The other side of it, they will not even see that mother is spending so much for us extra, for which we are not paying. It's not all found. Like this, the other day I said that people are now asking me to pay for this. Now tomorrow they'll say pay for our house rents. It was such a condition once upon a time in London when I started the ashram, that they asked for all the utensils in the ashram, I paid for the rent, paid for ultimately they said we don't have an ironing board, please send us. From that it's not so bad now, of course. But still, if they have to pay 5 rupees for taxi, they will think that, oh, we have to pay for taxis, mother is supposed to pay. But if I pay 7,000, 8,000 rupees for you to go to Haridwar, that's alright. That's good. That nobody wants to find out how mother is paying for us. It's surprising. And this disturbs me very much. That what is your attitude towards them? The pleasing should be done with full heart.